Toyota made waves, okay, ripples, several years ago when it rolled out the It's a Car advertising slogan for the crushingly average Yaris hatchback. The tagline was a little too on the nose, underscoring the Yaris's lack of notable styling, features, or personality, and playing up its existence as just one of the many small car options available to consumers. Predictably, over time, the It's a Car tagline faded into the background nearly as effectively as the Yaris, but we'd advocate adapting the tagline for the refreshed for 2016 RAV4. It's a crossover. The limited scope of this 2016 refresh, slightly tweaked front and rear styling, a mildly updated interior, means that the RAV4's most newsworthy tidbit is the new sport-oriented C model. We drove one in December last year, but this is our first comprehensive test of the allegedly spicier RAV4. Is its stiffer suspension including firmer dampers, springs, and anti-roll bars enough to deliver a truly sporty RAV4? In a word, no. The sport-oriented RAV4 C is little more than a typical RAV4 with slightly different visuals and a harsher ride. The retuned suspension doesn't make for a sporty vibe but does succeed in making the RAV4 C less comfortable over broken pavement, with firm responses to wheel impacts tossing occupants' heads and creating the sensation that the vehicle is skipping across road imperfections. There is improved body control during spirited cornering and less lean in tighter curves, but those subjective improvements aren't borne out on the skid pad, where this C scored 0.75 grams, worse than the pre-refresh, nonce 2013 RAV4. Blame the fuel economy-oriented Bristol-Nicopia tyres, then ignore them, as the slow, lifeless steering discourages enthusiastic driving anyway. Of course, compact crossovers aren't supposed to challenge sports cars. But it's the RAV4's lack of cohesion, not its merely average dynamic qualities, that disappoints. The stiff suspension and sport positioning don't mesh with the limp steering or the car's powertrain. Indeed, those who remember the last RAV4 to be truly sporty, the previous generation model with the optional 269 horsepower V6 engine, should keep looking lest they be disappointed by the C's 2.5-litre four-cylinder. Shared by every current RAV4 aside from the new hybrid version, the 2.5-litre wheezes out 176 horsepower just below its indicated 6,300 revolutions per minute red line. Peak torque is barely more punctual, with 172 lb-ft arriving at 4,100 revolutions per minute. Both output figures are par for the compact crossover course, but the engine's notable absence of zeal and lack of low-end oomph holds the RAV4 back in the daily grind, where city driving requires a merciless right foot, a fact reflected in our 19 miles per gallon observed fuel economy. Cracking the whip may offer only psychological satisfaction, however, because even at full whack, the RAV4 C takes 8.4 seconds to reach 60 miles per hour. A time that's well behind the class leaders. To its credit, the 6-speed automatic transmission recedes into the background, although we're still trying to figure out why Toyota includes paddle shifters on this crossover. Slapping at them nets the driver mushy, lurching down shifts that would be smoother if the computer blipped the throttle. Upshifts are not only slow, they're automatically triggered well before the red line. To repeat, it's a crossover. A good one. So the RAV4 C isn't sporty, but what about its chops as a crossover? In this role, the Toyota excels. The cabin is upright and roomy, with a reclining rear seat, plenty of headroom, and a large and usefully shaped cargo area. It offers 38 cubic feet behind the rear seats, and the trunk floor can be positioned at 2 different heights. With the higher level, there's room underneath to hide stuff, so long as it's relatively flat. Need more space? The rear seats fold down for an additional 35 cubic feet. When folded, the rear seat backs sit about 2 inches above the load floor. A built-in ramp panel bridges the difference. Note that there are no release handles in the cargo bay, meaning seat folding activities must take place through the side doors. Ergonomically speaking, the dashboard's key controls are within easy reach. The climate controls live just inches from the steering wheel, and the touchscreen infotainment system is flanked by hard-button shortcuts to key menus. The interior is let down by hard plastic and exposed mold flashings across key touch points such as the door grips. The bland look of it all suggests Design B committee, but the riot of different materials and patterns suggests that maybe the committee members were at war. At $31,565 with all-wheel drive, the RAV4 comes well equipped with dual-zone automatic climate control, a 6.1-inch touch screen, a backup camera, forks leather seats, a power liftgate, a sunroof, and LED headlights, taillights, and running lights. Our test example did have one box checked for the $3,030 advanced technology package, which includes a bird's-eye view parking camera, front and rear parking sensors, adaptive cruise control, autonomous emergency braking, forward collision warning, navigation, an 11-speaker JBL audio system, and a larger 7.0-inch touchscreen. With its mixture of high-tech safety gear and practicality, the RAV4 will help Toyota continue to sell truckloads of RAV4s, as the basic package is still a good one. But if you're after true sportiness in your crossover, you should try the Mazda CX-5. If you want a RAV4, however, our pick is a less firmly suspended nonce model. And remember, it's a crossover.
Yeah.